Miss Alanna to Transformation Tuesday. I am super excited to connect with you guys today. Transformation Tuesday to me means that we're taking an honest look at where we are today and where we want to go. And not only are we really getting clear on what it is we want out of life, who we want to be, where we want to go, what we want to experience, but today we're going to do something super special because we're going to actually put it on our calendar. You can go back through these lives and also on my YouTube channel to check out previous Transformation Tuesday exercises. But today we're going to do something we've never done before. And before we jump right in to our exercise today, I'd love for you all who are listening. Hi, everybody. Thanks for popping on. Hey, Carrie, I'll see you this week. Yay. Lindsay. And get a piece of paper out because you're going to be able to do this along with us. This is Rank Your Schedule part 2 of the Dream Life Action Planner. And if you go to denisewalsh.com/action, you can get this download, like PDF sent directly to your email. So denisewalsh.com/action. We created this time management tool because I had so many people over the years be like, how do you do it? Tell me what to do. If you just told me what to do, I will do it. And so I feel like so many of us need the roadmap. We need the how. We need the strategy. We need the system. And when we have that, we don't have to think anymore. We can simply execute. And so the idea behind the action planner is this is part of the how. You know, the first couple pages, we really do talk about what do you want because that's important. You got to set your goals. You got to put a timeline to it. But in in section 2 and 3, we really focus on, all right, well, how are we going to take these dreams that you have, these goals, and put them in your calendar so you start seeing progress. So again, denisewalsh.com/action, put your information in, and this will get sent directly to your inbox. So Alanna, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are out in Vegas, so it's like still daytime for you, and my kids are already in bed. So thank you so much. Well, when we talked a bit about, and my children are running back and forth right now because they're supposed to be in bed. We'll see how this goes. But when we talked about you joining me today, we talked about a few things that we could do together. And you said, you know what? This has been a battle for you for a few years. You're like, I know what I want, but I just don't know how to get it done. So can you tell me a little bit about, number one, who you are, what you do, and what your struggle or battle with time management has been?
Yes. Thanks for having me. My name is Alanna. I live in Vegas, Las Vegas. I am a full-time kindergarten teacher. I am with It Works. I've been with It Works for about 3.5 years now, and I'm ranked Ruby, and I'm pushing for Diamond.
Woohoo!
Yes.
So tell me, when I mentioned time management and mentioned kind of going through this with you, you were like, yes, that is what I need help with the most. Tell me why.
I am a busy person, so I have 4 boys that I'm raising, and so life is just busy. Life is always in the way of me trying to work my business. So I've just been really struggling on management skills, like what time should I do this and how long should I do that, and just different things like that. And I know I've talked to you a few times about management, and it's just been a real struggle. So with you coming out with this planner, I'm like, yes, I can probably put it down on paper and do something about it.
Yes, absolutely. And man, like anybody listening, can I get an amen? Like, yes. I mean, 4 kiddos, full-time kindergarten teacher, the hours that you have at home are precious. The weekends, absolutely. I can understand why you're like, okay, how I want to make this work, but how do I fit it into my already busy day?
Yes.
So that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, I did have Alanna prep a little bit before this because I knew that there was going to be some, writing and thinking that she was going to have to do and be prepared. But the first part is really writing down, like brain dumping everything that you do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. So for those of you listening, think of all of your responsibilities, family life, home life, relationships, your job, and then your business tasks. And if you're in a business, the business tasks are generating leads, following up with leads, and staying connected, right? Staying focused on your goals. So you spent some time just brain dumping everything that you do.
Yes.
Give us some examples of what you do.
First thing in the morning, I'm getting up, I get myself ready, I get the kids ready. What I have started doing this school year is I listen to personal development on the way to work, and they just have to listen as well. So I'm getting them into personal development.
Smart.
So, yeah, so I get that done because that was something I struggled with and I always wanted to do. So I found the time for that.
Good.
Once I hit the school, it's like busy. I'm busy till 6 o'clock at school.
And when does school start for you? Like, when do you leave to go to school?
We leave about 6:30 every morning. 6:30.
6:30 every morning. And when do you get home?
About 6:30, 7 o'clock that night.
Okay. So you have your work day. Are there any lunch breaks or drive time on the way there or the way home, or breaks throughout the day that you could add something?
I have a 30-minute lunch. With that, I try to get as much done getting ready for when the kids do come back.
I was going to say, you probably have to do school stuff during that time, right?
Yes. Sometimes I will try to fit in a little bit of like posting or messaging or commenting on posts throughout Facebook. Just trying to stay active on that as well. I do have a prep time, which is 90 minutes, but during that time it's prep. So it's either like meetings or meetings with the teachers or parents or something. So I can't fit anything in during that time as well.
Okay. And then sports after school?
Yes, 4 days a week, sports after school. So I forgot to mention I do coach cheer.
Okay.
And the boys do play sports as well. So
okay, so after school, that's why it's till so late, because of cheer?
yes.
Okay, I was going to say that's a long time after school. Our school gets out at 3. Maybe Vegas is different, but I'm just kidding. Okay, so you've got cheer after school. You've got sports with the kiddos after school. So during school time, we're going to talk about what you can do within your normal day in a minute. But when you're at home, tell me, like, brain dump all your home responsibilities.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot.
Or at least some of them.
Well, I do try to prep cooking. It doesn't work out like I wanted to. So I end up cooking when I get home. That takes about 40 minutes or so. So dinner's about 7:45, 8 o'clock. They're old enough to get themselves ready for bed, so I don't have to do that. But once everyone's down, I do take the time myself. So I'm actually up till 11, like doing what I need to do for myself.
Okay, so from like 8 to 11 is like your time.
Yes.
Okay. Cleaning?
That's on the weekends.
Okay.
And my husband is great, so he does help out with that during the week.
Good. Any other things that you would want to put on like that are just things that you do on a daily basis or weekly basis?
Yes, like 2 or 3 times a week, wash clothes, keeping the kitchen clean. We do have a dog, so making sure hair is up throughout the house. And basically, unfortunately, I bring my work home as well. So I'm like lesson planning or grading papers. Pretty much all my time is spent from teaching.
Okay. So the idea with this, you guys, is we want to brain dump all of our responsibilities, right? Think of family, think of work, think of business. So you have a list of things that you do at home. You have a list of things you need to do for your business. You have a list of things like relationships, date night once a month, school activities, things like that. The next step is to rank them. So basically, rank 1 is considered all of the activities that are going to help you make your goals. So if you are working your business, rank 1 activities would be generating leads, following up with leads, whatever is connected to your goal. Those are important. And then obviously we do need to do work, right? And you need to have work time. So you want to like put in all your non-negotiables first. So that would be work. And for you, that's from 6:30 to 6:30.
Mhm. Yes.
And does that evening time include sports too, or do you have sports even after that?
No, that includes the sports.
Okay, so that includes the sports. We're going to talk about what you can do during that time. But 6:30 to 6:30 is school, sports, etc.
Yes.
So, okay, so we're going to rank all of the things that have to do with your goal. Rank 1. Rank 2 are all the things that are things that like need to get done, but don't necessarily have to be you. For example, an example of that could be getting help with laundry or getting help with cooking or cleaning or some things that probably you don't want to like put totally to the wayside, but don't need to be you. And then rank 3 are all efforts that are necessary, but again, don't move you towards the goal and probably could be put on the back burner. So an example of this for me is that we did end up giving up our volleyball. We ended up giving up, we were youth group leaders for a season, and we said no to some of those things that were not keeping us, like helping propel us forward, because we knew we had to say no to good to say yes to great. So you're ranking all of your activities. Non-negotiables go on the calendar first. So obviously work, date nights, family obligations, those things go on the calendar first. And then we want to make sure that all of the extra times are filled with ones. Now, we're going to do this for you together in just a minute. But I do want to side note, one other way to look at this, if you're a Networks distributor, is to make sure that your rank 1 are getting you towards your next promotion. Your rank 2 is supporting the team that's already existing. So I learned this when I was promoting to presidential. And when you go presidential, you have 4, make sure I'm in the, you got 4 strong legs. And I needed like these 2 legs here to be strong in order for me to promote. What I found, you guys, when I was doing this is I was spending all my time with the people who were already established in promoting. So when I took a look at where my parties were, where my 3-way calls were, where my team Zooms were, I was spending time not in a place that was going to help me reach my goal. I was spending time on people that were already triple, that were already double, that were already, creating momentum within themselves. In order to go presidential, I needed to work on these 2 legs. Yeah, I was spending no time there. So if you are distributor through Diamond, essentially your goal is to be generating leads and following up with leads, period. Because you don't have a super big team that's going to take up all your time. Once you start growing a team, then it's again that 80-20 rule. 80% of your time still needs to be working in the places that are going to help you grow your business. 20% of the time is like training and loving on the team you currently have. So you can do this exercise in a few different ways. You can do it with your whole life calendar, which is dream life. Like that's why we're doing it this way. But when you just specify business, you can say, what are my business times? And how am I ranking my business activities? And am I spending time when I'm working my business doing things that are going to take me somewhere? Right? So we're going to talk about your business schedule next. Now, one thing to notice, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, you're probably spending too much time doing things that are not actually helping you reach your goals. And some things just need to be outsourced. So, okay. So we're going to, on the next page, we talk about choosing the ranks. So you want to write down the things that are going to help you get to your goal. So generating leads, following up with leads, connecting with your current team. Obviously, your work is important. Date nights are important. We want to be well-rounded. All of those would be considered rank 1 because we're not going to outsource you being a teacher. We can call in a sub once in a while, but we're not going to outsource that. So rank 1 would be your work, would be family obligations, and then it works business things that are going to help you grow. So I'm going to let you work on that in just a minute. But Carrie, you know what? It's really, really interesting when you categorize. So what I did during this example was I ranked my legs. So rank 1 for my legs, like my teams, were the ones that I needed to promote. Rank 2 were the ones I needed to strengthen. Rank 3 were ones that were like already self-running. You know, like Nikki Moore was already triple. I didn't need to necessarily keep pouring into her team. I needed to love on her and build wide. So I ranked my teams, and then I was making sure to then I would take my calendar and make sure I'm spending time with my 1s, supporting my 2s, loving on my 3s, right? So, all right. So you have your rank 1s. Tell me a little bit about what you put on that list.
Well, just like you said, for my rank 1s, I put work, family, business.
So let's be specific. What about work? Work is just work, really. But family, is it sports? Is it date night? Let's be super specific, because then what we'll want to do is take that one thing and put it into the calendar.
Okay.
So do you want a date night once a month? Do you have 4 nights of sports? What for you does family mean?
Yes, so absolutely. So at least 1 night a month will be for date night.
Okay.
Spending time with him, just him. And secondly is spending time with my kids, but outside of the sports, like just family time, like movies or just an outing, So that I don't have time for, and that's what I want to make time for. So.
Okay, so put all of that down. Super specific. The more specific you can make this, the more you can really take this rank 1 and put it somewhere on your calendar. Because that's the goal, is that this is going to create a plan where you can simply run. You can just execute. You don't have to think, you're executing, but you know that what you're doing is taking you down the path that you want. So rank 2 would again be things that are supporting your goals, but not necessarily have to be done every day or not. So for example, in our business, it would be checking in with already established teams, or it would be for you, let's think, it would really just be, the problem is when everything is ranked 1, isn't it? When you're like all of work and all of prep and it's all important. So rank 2, let's say that would be things that maybe laundry, cooking, things around the house where you could probably outsource a bit. You could get some help.
Yes.
So in this rank, once you choose the ranks, you kind of you brain dump all of your activities, you rank them. Then underneath it, it says me or help. So again, is there something we can get help with? We can do everything. No, we can do anything, but we can't do everything. Is that what Cami always says? And so it really is saying, what are the most important things that need to be me? An example of this is, I'll tell you another example in a minute. So I think as moms, this is something that's hard, because we feel like we need to do everything. We need to do everything at the house. At least I know I felt that way. We're running businesses, we're teachers, we're doing a lot like in life, coaches, all of that. But yet we also feel like we need to do everything at home too. At least I know I've been there. So it's just skill learn, asking for help. So, okay, what are some things that you could get help with, whether it's within your family, your husband, your kiddos, or maybe it's a stay-at-home mom that wants to make extra money that could come help out with laundry, or a teenager who is, you don't necessarily have babysitters, kids, so you could have her come and help 2 days a week with laundry and meal prepping. What are some things that you could get help with?
Laundry and cooking. So like I say, my husband, he does help with the laundry. The cooking is pretty much on me.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I could get help with that.
Well, and I think too, it's interesting to even think like, how much would it cost? I know when I decided to outsource house cleaning, I figured out it cost me $100 a month. My house was not very big. And this was like the first house we had, and it took the lady 4 hours to clean it. It was $25 an hour, and it was $100. And there's just Brandon and I at that time. So it was $100 a month for everything to be clean. Like, that was so worth it. And what happens when I was able to outsource that is that I now have brain space. I don't have to think, oh my gosh, I need to clean the toilets today, or oh my gosh, you know what I mean? I'm not overwhelmed by another thing to do. It gave me brain space to then focus on the things that I knew were going to help me make progress. So do you have any ideas of who could help you in this area?
Actually, I do. I have a niece that lives about 5 minutes away. And
Okay.
So ask her for help.
Okay.
And
And
like helping
yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? What's super cool is she will probably be so excited to help you. A couple other examples are mowing your lawn. We actually had somebody, a middle schooler. It was so cute. He put a little flyer in our mailbox and asked, the whole neighborhood if he could snow plow. And we were like, we are helping the community by letting him plow our driveway. So when you think about getting help, you're actually employing someone, you're giving them purpose, you're teaching them skills. Like, it's all good. And sitting down and taking the time and actually doing that can give you some mental space. Yeah. So your niece could be somebody that you ask for help.
Yes.
Besides laundry or meal prepping, is there anything else she could help with?
And funny how you brought that up about the little boy, because my son is 13 and the other one's 11. And just yesterday, the 11-year-old said, why aren't you on the Monday night call, interviewing? And I said, it's only for new presidential diamonds. And he was like, for ambassador diamonds. And he was like, well, why aren't you on? And I'm like, well, maybe if you help me around the house, I can get there. And he kind of thought about it. So I'm like, I have the boys, they're getting older. So maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing too. When you have a family goal, they're all participating in that.
Yes.
And you can pay them, I guess, or you can be like, when I go presidential, we're going to Disney World. All right. So you brain dump all of your to-dos. You rank them in terms of your dream life goal. You decide what you can outsource, how you can get help to get some of the stuff off your plate. I mean, honestly, even grading papers, could they help with that? I mean, it's kindergarten.
Yeah, it's kindergarten, so it's not.
Yeah, I mean, really, there probably are some other things that you have that you could get some help with. So it's not just all on you. So you want to figure that out, like outsource some things, get help for some things, take some things off your plate. So you really are focusing on what is going to make progress. All right. And then on page 11, you'll see focused or fractured time. So this is really when we take out your daily calendar and we say, what is your daily habit? How are we going to chunk out your time so that way you are putting dream life activities in your calendar? It doesn't mean you need to be working this 12 hours a day. But I can tell you, unless it's in your calendar, it probably isn't going to just magically happen. Another example of this is I really learned this when I was working on the Design Your Dream Life workbook. I had this like vision of what I wanted to do. And I thought, well, in my spare time, I'll do this. I don't know if anyone else has done this like me, but I'll get whenever, in my spare time, I'll do it. Someday I'll do it. When I have time, I'll do it. And months went by and I didn't do it. And what I realized was that I'm never sitting around going, what should I do today? I guess I should write my book. What I realized is, of course, it had to have a place in my calendar. I had to give it a spot. So going through your ones and giving it a spot. So I love that you added personal development to your drive. That's a spot. You can add message 5 people 3 times during your day. Just a spot. Doesn't have to be an hour, but it could be intentionally message 5 people. Post in the car before you go into school, right? Message 5 people during reading time. I have no idea. There could be just like times when during your day after school, you also are with people all the time, which is so awesome for those who work full time and are so active in the community like you. So it could be intentional that you talk to 5 people a day, or give out 5 green samples to cheerleading moms, or, there's things that you can do within your normal everyday, even if it's just taking your greens to practice, or having your keto coffee in the teacher's lounge, or just being loud about what you're doing so people ask, right? So being intentional within your normal everyday is a part of this as well. So in this focused or fractured time, you're going to give everything a spot. So again, you're 6:30 to 6:30 at work, but there could be a spot, personal development, follow up with 5 people, 5 people, 5 people. I know when I was working, I made it a goal to call 5 people at lunch and 5 people on my drive home. And if I didn't, or I missed it, then I would add it to the next day. So I just was intentional. That was also when people talked on the phone. So you could probably voice message people. I don't know what people do these days. What I found too is that a lot of times people just didn't answer. And so I could call a bunch of people and only talk to a handful. And the ones that I did talk to made me even more excited to work my business when I got home. You know what I mean? So this is when we really put pen to paper and identify putting some of the ones in your calendar. So as I'm kind of talking you through this, what comes to mind for you?
So much.
Okay, tell me more.
So much going on. So it's just working in my head, what are my ones? What really are my ones? So now you really have me thinking, what could I put in a 2 and a 3 that I had in a 1? So that's what's going through my mind right now. So I'm thinking, yes, I'm a teacher, but a lot of things that I do could be a 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I could put my business in there as well. So
yeah.
If I can find the time where during my lunchtime, things I do on my lunch, if I can find time to do that before, and then during my lunch, while I'm eating, I could be messaging and following up with my leads. So, yeah.
Okay. It's interesting when you feel like everything's a 1, no wonder it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But when you peel it back, and it's not it can't all be a 1. There's got to be some things that you can get help with, or maybe leave to the wayside for a few months, the 90 days, right? While you are focused on your goal. So you've got lunchtime, you've got school, driving to school. Any other slots throughout the day that you feel like you could be intentional?
Yes, actually driving home as well, because it takes about 30 to 35 minutes to drive home.
Okay.
So I can voice message 5 to 10 people just driving home.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is what happened to me when I was working. I would get in the car and I'd be like, I'm so tired. And so what I found is that doing that act and being intentional, just getting started on my drive home, kept me going throughout the next day, or throughout the night. But if you are exhausted and you just zone out, it's going to be harder to pick it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So the first few are the hardest, but once you get in the groove, this business gives us energy, doesn't it? When you're talking to somebody who's excited, you're like, woo, yeah, woo. So it really does. It gives us energy. So, okay. So you've got 6:30 to 6:30. You've got a few intentional times that you can be messaging people, reaching out, doing host to posts. I mean, again, this is where you're getting specific and clear. Yes. What are you going to do during these niches of time? Handing out blitz cards, talking to teachers, networking within your community, messaging people. So those are some things that you want to even niche down a bit further. Okay. But you still have some time from 8 to 11. Now, I'm sure you hang out with your husband a bit, some nights. But what is your game plan for the evening times?
He watches me work. So from that time, I do shower, get my things ready for the next day. And pretty much from 9 to 11, I'm following up with my host to post.
Awesome.
I do run ads all the time. So
awesome. That's working for you.
Really good. So I have leads from that, thanks to our new Connect app. Mm-hmm. That's actually helping out. That's amazing, because it takes like half of the time away.
Awesome.
Because I'm able to just go in there. The group's already there. I can message. And so I just pretty much spend that time and then trying to learn more because I'm not really like a social media guru. So I take the time to like learn more from social
Awesome.
media and what else I could do to help build my business.
Awesome.
Your
Awesome.
dream has videos as well. So I catch up on those at night too.
Well, awesome. And you're right. The Connect app, I saw Eve said that too. The Connect app is a really great tool to keeping track of your leads, having the scripts and the ideas in there and grouping people so you can just beep, 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 beep. And again, once you have a system, that's what this is all about, is creating a system so you don't have to think, you just execute and you know that what you're doing is taking you in a direction.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you've got, a couple things to think about. You want to take your whole day, right, and create a typical day. It's not necessarily every day, but a typical day where you know you've got your personal development. You've got 3 to 5 connection times throughout the day, like little bits of information, message, 3 messages here, 5 messages here on the drive home or whatever. You've got a few hours at night. You've got your work times slotted in, basically, right? Your work times are slotted in. Now we want to make sure that what you're doing during that time is going to best suit your business. So the income producing activities. So this is when we say, all right, what are you going to do during your dream? And so for this case, it's your It Works business is your dream life goal.
Yes.
You've got it slotted into your day. That's where the chunking, fractured time, really identifying your daily habits are. And then what can you do during your day that's going to take you on a journey? And again, for us, for you, it's generating leads, following up with leads.
Yes.
And connecting with your host to post. I mean, we follow up all day long. That's our job. Building relationships, following up, and adding people to team parties and going to parties and getting the wrap in people and just being in front of people is where it's at. And it sounds like you're doing that consistently.
Yes.
Cool. So for those of you that are listening, you can go to denisewalsh.com/action and you're going to get the Dream Life Action Planner. And again, this section is a few things. You brain dump everything that you're doing. Everything. Life stuff, business stuff, everything. You rank them according to what your goal is today. And that's going to change. Could change in 6 months. It could be different. But right now, what is your goal? And you rank your daily activities based on that. And then all of your ones, you want to make sure that you have them in your calendar in a spot so you know you're getting them done. 2s and 3s, see if you can ask for help, outsource, do them once a week. It's not as important as this stuff is right now. And then now that you have your business time, your dream life time in your schedule, you then can fill that time with things that are taking you on a journey, that are making progress. You're not organizing your desk is what I'm saying. Organizing your desk is not actually income producing. So what questions do you have, my friend?
I know creating the daily planner, but some of the things I was thinking about as a teacher, like things that I'm doing on a daily basis, I want to be able to create where I can do them all pretty much in one day to plan for the whole week. And then I don't have to worry about anything that has to do with teaching during the week. And then that'll give me more time to work on my business.
Smart.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to decide like what day would that be? So
okay.
Sundays is usually days I spend with my husband and the kids because that's really the only day we have. But I did talk to him and was like, maybe I should take 2 hours out on Sunday to actually plan my week for school. And then during the week, I have time for my business and won't have to be up so late during the week working the business.
Right. So. Well, it's interesting to use this, not just with your business, but to use this with work too. How can you streamline teaching? How can you chunk teaching and get everything done finished? And then you can free and have that brain space to do other things.
Yes. the brain space.
Yes. Yes. What else does this bring up for you?
Just a lot. It's emotional a little because, I know what I want. I can see it, and it's just hard to get there. I can see it, but I just can't get there. And it's like, even when I do plan it out, something happens that will be like pop up, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's hard to say no, and I try to say no, but it just doesn't happen all the time. So
we can talk about that too. Mm-hmm. If it's not a one, it doesn't have time on your calendar, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing to remember, you guys, is as women, I do feel like it's very easy for us to take on everything. And then we don't have time for the things that bring us joy.
Yes.
So it's a balance for sure.
Yeah.
But
so I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to say no to things that's not a one, because I know what I want. I know, and it's for myself and for my family. Mm-hmm. So if I have to put a lot of things under a 2 and a 3 to get it done, then that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So let's practice that. So one thing that you can say is, you know what? I'm going to have to look at my calendar.
Okay.
Or, you know what? I'm not, I think the biggest thing, you guys, is I know I do this. I'm quick to say yes. And then I look at my calendar and go, oh, crap. So it's okay to say, you know what, let me double check for that, but I'm not quite sure I've got time today. Okay. Let me talk with my husband. For me, when I'm at events and I have a million people asking me to come travel to them, I'm like, yes, totally, I want to. And then I get home and I'm like, oh dear, overbooked myself again. So think about that when, we want our yes to be yes and our no to be no. So sometimes it's best to say, no, let me get back to you, than yes and have to cancel. Okay. Or do it begrudgingly, right?
Yes. Yes.
Any other thoughts?
No, not really. I'm ready to start getting this done. I have my calendar. Like I said, I write everything down. I write it down. I started that a couple of months ago. But like you say, it's just, I don't say no. And so whatever's on my calendar gets put on the back burner. It gets put to a 2 and a 3. And other stuff gets to a 1. And then I notice my business is going backwards instead of forwards. Yeah. So that's what I don't like.
Yeah. No, I think it's super interesting how it's like we either control our calendar or we don't, or time goes by, and so we've got to take control over our time and really be intentional on how we're spending it. Otherwise, that's this hamster wheel as years go by and we don't feel like we're making any progress or we're staying the same, or, we have goals and it never happens. And remember too, it's just a season. I really learned a lot about saying no during the bodybuilding competition, because my rankings changed. Team events were not a 1 anymore because I couldn't eat at them. I came to Sacramento and I brought my own food to the restaurant. And it was one of those things where you just have to reprioritize, but it's for a season. It's not forever. It's for a season. But right now, because of my goal, this is a priority. And I'm going to have to say no to this 8-course meal with wine. And I did. And I could because I knew my priorities. So I think that when you really put it on pen and paper and you can take those ones, you can develop the boundaries essentially to say, that just doesn't fit with my goals right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because my goal is to not be Ruby at the next conference. So
okay. All right.
Time to start saying no because that's what I'm looking at.
Okay. All right. You want to create momentum, and you'll create momentum by staying focused in one direction for a long period of time to create that snowball.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Tell me, I'm going to look at some questions. Oh, Dawn says, totally understand. Yes. Absolutely. Carrie, yes. We're actually updating this. I'm really excited, you guys. We're updating the action planner this week. So I'm going to do another one next week that goes through every single page. We're updating it just to make sure it's a bit more clear and succinct, and there's more examples and things like that. Lisa. Ooh, yes. Learning to say no. Yes, that's the thing. Carrie says, focus energy in the areas, your teams that need growth. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for popping on live. Alanna, do you have any other questions for me about this, about you implementing and making a clarity, priority, prioritize, and then execute?
Yes, actually, just looking at a blank sheet of paper, like what came to your mind first when you decided to just sit down and say, I'm going to plan it out? Like, what was first for you? Was it your family? Was it your business? Like,
good question.
That's the hardest part for me. Like, what do I really make what do I make the number one priority right now?
So a couple things. When I was working full time, I didn't have kids. So that's a whole nother job, you know? So Brandon and I would work my business. But when we started, we were in a ton of curricular activities. So volleyball, youth group. I was actually doing counseling at my church at night. So I had every night booked because, of course, like I'm a red type A personality. I will be booked. And so when I started, I would just put this in the nooks and crannies of my day. So I would have my, once a month team nights. I would do things during the day. And then eventually I started to say no to the extra stuff because it wasn't getting me towards my goal. So I had to start saying no to that. Brandon and I would work our business in the evening, on the weekends. Now, I do put my family date nights in, like as I say that, and then we lost our babysitter because she went to college. Now I don't have a new babysitter, so not like perfectly. But my goal is to have like at least twice a quarter, Brandon and I go out for date night. We do hang out a lot at home, but date night. So, we want to be well-rounded. So I do put relationships in my calendar. And then it was really just generating leads and booking events, parties, getting myself out of the house, because I knew if I had an event booked, I would go to it. I wouldn't cancel. Sometimes if I don't really know what to do, then I don't feel productive. But if I have a party planned or if I have an expo or whatever, then I know I'm going to go do that. So the biggest thing for me was, yes, generating leads and following up was in my calendar, but I also made sure to go do parties and expos and stuff. Now, things have changed a lot in the last 12 years, like social media and smartphones. Now I don't work. This is what I do. So I'm able to take my whole day and I work out in the morning. I do my personal development from 9 to 3. I work my business and I'm working on creating content, because this is my dream life goal, is to create content that can go beyond. And then I pick up my kids and I don't work from 4 to 8 typically, because unless they're like playing Minecraft, I'm hanging out and doing homework and all that kind of stuff. So things do change, but there was head down. I was doing 5 to 7 parties a week for a season. So, but the cool thing is that it's all a season and you're creating momentum that will then give you some of the freedom that you desire. I don't know if that's helpful or not.
No, that's something I can talk to my family about and let them know, like, this is the goal that I want to reach, and it's only for a season, and it's for a reason, to be able to spend more time with them.
Yeah. And not have to have 8 million things be a one.
Yes.
Because then when everything's important, nothing's important and nothing gets done.
Exactly.
But all right, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. Time management is probably one of the biggest hurdles I hear from so many of us. We want something, but we're so busy and overwhelmed that we don't really know how to get it. And so my challenge is for everybody here to go to denisewalsh.com/action so you can get this, print this off and work through it, because it's one thing to think about it. It's another thing to write it down. And it's another thing to really give it a spot on your calendar. And even if your business or your dream life goal is 15 minutes a day, doesn't have to be hours. It could be 15 minutes a day, but you've got it slotted and you know what you're going to do during those 15 minutes. So you are making progress. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Oh, Shannon, what did I just say? She said that was so deep. I don't even remember what I said. Thank you. Lisa from Ireland, thank you so much for hanging out. Carmela. DeniseWalsh.com/action. Carmela. Time management. Yes. Okay. Well, next Tuesday, I'm going to have the updated version and we're going to go through all of it so you guys can truly implement this and put it in your calendar too. So I hope that this was helpful, my friend. If you want to keep communicating with me about this, let's do so in the Dream Life community and in chat. I want to, number one, help you create that clarity. And number two, hold you accountable to doing it. So thank you so much, you guys. Love you. Bye.